condoned in this area as well. At best, it signals that no one is watching. This is the heart of the broken windows theory. Wilson and Kelling write that social psychologists and police officers tend to agree that if a window in a building is broken and is left unrepaired, all the rest of the windows will soon be broken. Why? Because the message being sent out by a broken window, the perception it invites, is that the owner of this building and the people of the community around it don't care if this window is broken. They have given up, and anarchy reigns here. Do as you will, because nobody cares. Wilson and Kelling suggested that a broken window, any small indication that something is amiss and not being repaired, can lead to much larger problems. It sends signals, they said, that the bad guys are in charge here. No one cares about maintaining some kind of order, and anyone who wishes to take advantage of that situation would be unopposed. It leads to lawlessness, a kind of anarchy by neglect. Just as physicians now recognize the importance of fostering health rather than simply treating illness, so the police and the rest of us ought to recognize the importance of maintaining intact communities without broken windows, they wrote. Years later, Wilson told me in an interview that the idea behind the broken windows theory had to do with the responsibility of the police to take seriously small signs of disorder, because people were afraid of disorder, and there was a chance disorder could lead to more serious crime. Still, critics of the theory greeted it with skepticism, believing that attention to small infractions would necessarily decrease the amount of attention that could be devoted to much more serious crimes. The same objection, in slightly less genteel verbiage, was raised in 1994 when Rudolph Giuliani, the newly elected mayor of New York City, announced his intention to eliminate graffiti on subway cars and move the hookers and pimps out of Times Square to make Manhattan more family-friendly. Critics practically laughed in Giuliani's face, intimating that the law and order mayor, who had been elected based largely on his experience as a U.S. attorney for the New York area, was dealing with the small crimes because he knew he couldn't contain the larger ones. They were proved wrong. Giuliani and his new police commissioner, William Bratton, believed that if they sent out clear signals to criminals and to New York's citizenry generally, that a zero-tolerance policy would be applied to all crime in the city, the result would be a safer, cleaner city. And the statistics bore them out. Over the following few years, the number of murders, assaults, robberies, and other violent crimes all went down dramatically. And it had all started with graffiti on subway cars. I can hear you asking, what does that have to do with my business? It's all about crime and criminals. That same theory is applicable to the world of business. If the restroom at the local Burger King is out of toilet paper, it signals that the management isn't paying attention to the needs of its clientele. That could lead the consumer to conclude that the food at this restaurant might not be prepared adequately, that there might be health risks in coming here, or that the entire chain of fast food outlets simply doesn't care about its customers. It can also lead to other, even more damaging conclusions. Charles Ferruza, a writer on Pitch.com, related that he had walked into a restaurant bathroom so dirty, I honestly believed that my hands were cleaner before I walked in than when I walked out. A post on the website of National Purity LLC, a chemical blender and contract packager, quoted Ferruza and added, "A comment like that from a customer is like a bad dream." A comment like that posted on a social media site where it can be viewed and shared by countless people, that's like a nightmare. According to a survey by Harris Interactive cited in the post, 94% of respondents would avoid a business if they had a negative experience in an unclean restroom. That in itself would be enough to give any manager second thoughts about neglecting this aspect of a customer's encounter with the restaurant. Word of mouth would amplify that concern to a certain extent, but the availability of social media as digital megaphones to broadcast those experiences to the world is a game changer in successful business management. Cell phones have become game changers in a number of realms, including law enforcement. Protests erupted in 2020.